You know that feeling, right? When your eyelids start to feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds and you just have to shut down. Well, today we're diving into one of biology's biggest puzzles, that incredible, overwhelming need for sleep that every single one of us feels, but almost nobody really understands.
I mean, it's such a universal experience, that feeling when your brain just gets fuzzy. It's like a switch gets flipped, telling your whole body it's time to check out. But what is that switch? What tiny, invisible thing is actually making that call?
For decades, this has been a total black box for scientists. They knew the feeling, but the actual physical trigger, a complete mystery. Until now. We're about to get into some incredible new research that points to this tiny, elegant little mechanism deep inside our brain cells, a mechanism that, it turns out, has been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
So let's get into it. See, sleep isn't just about being tired. It is a fundamental biological drive, every bit as powerful as hunger or thirst. And we're about to uncover the source of that drive. Scientists have a name for this. They call it sleep pressure. Basically, your body is always trying to keep things in balance, and the longer you stay awake, the more this invisible pressure builds up, creating that undeniable need to sleep. But what is it? What is this pressure actually made of? And you're not going to believe where scientists finally found the answer. Not in a human, not in a mouse, but in the tiny little brain of a common fruit fly. Yeah, turns out this humble insect holds a major key to our daily shutdown. Okay, so researchers zeroed in on this one specific tiny group of cells. The technical name is dorsal fan-shaped body neurons. Let's just call them dFBNs. The important thing to know is that these cells are basically the master switch for sleep in the fly's brain. They are the ones that actively push the brain into sleep mode. And the connection is incredibly direct. When these dFBNs are firing away, the fly is fast asleep. When they go quiet, the fly wakes up. Simple enough, right? But this just pushes the mystery one level deeper. What's the signal that tells these specific neurons when to turn on and off? What's pulling their strings?
To answer that, we have to zoom in, way, way in. We're going from the entire brain down to a single neuron, and now we're going inside that neuron to the microscopic engines that power, well, everything.
Say hello to the mitochondria. You probably remember these guys from biology class. They're the power plants of the cell. And that's no joke. Their job is absolutely essential. They take the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe and turn it into pure chemical energy that fuels literally everything you do, from thinking a thought to blinking your eyes. Now, the process they use is basically an assembly line. Step 1, electrons, which are stripped from your food, get loaded onto the line. Step 2, oxygen comes in at the end of the line, pulling those electrons along. And step 3, as the electrons move down the line, their energy is captured to make the fuel, called ATP, that powers the cell. And right here, this is the heart of the whole discovery. The reason we get sleepy, it turns out, isn't about running out of energy. It's about having too much of it in exactly the wrong place at the wrong time. So here's the crucial mismatch. While the fly is awake, those special sleep neurons, they're quiet. They're not really doing much, so their energy demand is super low. But the rest of the body is humming along, breaking down food, so the energy supply, all those electrons, is very high. You end up flooding this quiet little neuron with a ton of fuel it can't use. The assembly line gets completely jammed up. Now, what happens when an assembly line gets backed up? Stuff starts to spill over the sides. In this case, it's the electrons. They start to leak out. And that's a big problem because these stray electrons create these nasty, damaging molecules called reactive oxygen species. This is a 5-alarm fire for the cell, a clear sign of major stress. And here is the absolutely brilliant insight from the lead researcher, Professor Miesenbach. He says these sleep neurons are acting like circuit breakers. When that electron leak, that cellular stress gets too high, the circuit breaker trips. It forces the neuron to fire, which pushes the entire brain into sleep, just to prevent the system from being damaged by the overload. And this isn't just a theory. You can literally see the physical toll on this slide. On the left, you've got mitochondria and a well-rested fly. See how they're long and connected? Now look at the right. In a sleep-deprived fly, they've literally fragmented. They're breaking apart under the constant strain of that energy overload. And that, at its core, is what sleep is for. It is a mandatory maintenance period. It forces the neuron to finally get active, to use up all that excess energy, which releases the pressure. This gives the mitochondria a chance to repair themselves, fuse back together, and get ready for the next round. So, okay, a fruit fly's brain cells get overloaded. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it's a huge deal because this isn't just about fruit flies. This one simple idea might help answer some of the absolute biggest questions in biology.
Think about it. This one discovery helps explain the deep, deep connection between how we process energy, how long we sleep, and even how long we live. It gives us a physical reason why people with mitochondrial diseases suffer from such profound fatigue. It even suggests that the entire aging process is fundamentally tied to sleep, and that our drives for sleep and hunger might come from the very same place. And it perfectly explains a classic biological puzzle. Why does a tiny little mouse with a metabolism that's just raging need 12 hours of sleep, while a gigantic elephant with a super slow metabolism can get by on just 2 or 3? Well, it's because the mouse's mitochondria are running hotter. Their assembly lines are moving way faster, building up that overload pressure much more quickly, and forcing more frequent shutdowns for repair. Which leaves us with this one final mind-bending thought. Using oxygen to generate energy is what allowed for all the complex life we see around us. It's the fire of life. But it's a dangerous game that inherently creates damage. So maybe sleep isn't some weird glitch in the system. Maybe it's the absolute, non-negotiable price we have to pay for the privilege of burning that fire in the first place.